Everyone's obsessed with testosterone. TRT, Enclomiphene, low T this, boost that. It's like every dude under 35 suddenly thinks they've got a medical condition. Here's the truth, 99% of guys don't need any of this shit. You need to stop looking for shortcuts and start doing the work. Today, I'm breaking down why I don't use TRT or Enclomiphene, and why most of you shouldn't either. Let's start with what these things actually are. TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, is when your body doesn't produce enough testosterone, so you inject synthetic testosterone to replace it to get back to an optimal level. The problem is, most guys using TRT aren't doing it responsibly, especially the young guys. They're not doing it under medical supervision, and they're taking way more than they need. It's not a replacement dose, it's a full-on cycle. Enclomiphene, that's a pill. Basically, a cleaner version of Clomid. It tricks your brain into thinking your estrogen's low, so your balls start pumping out more testosterone. Now, while Enclomiphene boosts your endogenous testosterone production, it's nowhere close to as powerful as injecting exogenous testosterone. It's not going to turn you into a bodybuilder. If you're a young guy that's taking Enclomiphene, whose natural levels are in the 300 to 400s, it might boost you up to the 7 or 800s. Enclomiphene was initially designed as a fertility drug for men with low sperm count. And in my opinion, that's the only time that it's actually warranted. So unless you're naturally low and struggling to knock up your wife, there's a 99% chance you don't need it either. So does TRT or Enclomiphene work? Yes, but it comes at a price. When it's appropriate to use them. If you're an older guy, 45, 50, 60 plus, and your natural testosterone has tanked, and you've done everything right with your diet, training, sleep, and lifestyle, and you're still suffering, then yeah, TRT might make sense under medical supervision. Same with Enclomiphene. If you're younger, you've been diagnosed with low T, and you want to preserve fertility, it might be appropriate. But for the average 25-year-old gym bro who sleeps 5 hours, lives on caffeine, never touches a barbell, and wonder why his testosterone's 300, bro, you don't need TRT. You need to fix your life. Here's when it's not appropriate. When you're young, healthy, and just impatient. When you want to get jacked fast without earning it. When you're chasing aesthetics instead of performance or longevity. And let's face it, that's the majority of men using these drugs. They don't need it. It's just like how the majority of fat people don't need the GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic to lose weight. They just need to quit being fucking pussies, take responsibility for their health, eat less shit food, and move their ass more. Enclomiphene and TRT don't replace training, discipline, or nutrition. They just boost numbers on paper. They don't fix your habits, your sleep, your self-control, or your work ethic. Using TRT, Enclomiphene, and Ozempic is just like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. It's a temporary fix, not a long-term solution. Let's talk about what's happening right now. You've got Sam Sulek, Alex Eubank, the Trend Twins, and half of fitness YouTube juicing before they even hit their mid-20s. They look incredible, sure, but what happens when they're my age, 38? Where will they be in 10 to 15 years? Heart issues, hormone crashes, depression when they come off? You can already see it. Acne, bloat, mood swings, insomnia, all for short-term clout. Is that setting a good example for young men? Absolutely not. These guys aren't promoting fitness, they're promoting dependency. Now, let's be real. Sam Sulek squats 5 plates like it's nothing. He also probably has about 4 times as much testosterone pulsing through his veins as me or any other natty lifter. Then there's me, and I'm saying this with absolute humility. I'm a little taller, 30 pounds lighter, but I'm still repping out 405 on squats for 10 reps. That's not bad for a 38-year-old lifetime natural. I don't have fake hormones in my veins. I'm not wrecking my organs. I'm not dependent on blood tests, prescriptions, or injections to keep my mood stable. I've made natural gains that I can keep. The rest of these guys are on borrowed gains on borrowed time. That's the part no one talks about. What you lose when you stop being natural. Now, would I be stronger and way more jacked if I was on TRT or steroids? Hell yeah. But here's 12 reasons I don't fuck with steroids or TRT. Your balls shrivel up. You can get gynecomastia, otherwise known as bitch tits, that you oftentimes have to have surgically removed. You can get really bad acne. You have to do constant blood work. It increases your blood viscosity, meaning it thickens your blood and makes it harder for your heart to pump blood around your body. You can get heart disease and heart attacks. It damages your internal organs. You lose unnatural gains when you stop, and eventually you have to stop. You're literally sticking a needle in your ass every week. It can wreck your libido and cause depression. It can increase prostate cancer risk. And you need constant monitoring to make sure you're healthy. That's not fitness. That's maintenance therapy for a body that's no longer natural. And look, if you still think I'm overreacting, you need a reality check. Rich Piana, dead. Dallas McCarver, dead. Sean Roden, dead. Joe Lindner, dead at 30 years old. Every one of those guys was worshipped by the online fitness world. Millions of followers, freak physiques. And now they're just thumbnails and old reposts. When's the last time you or anyone else has thought about Joe Lindner? Everyone's moved on. That's the part nobody fucking talks about. You idolize them when they're alive, then scroll past them when they're gone. Let's not kid ourselves. It wasn't bad luck or just genetics that killed Joe Lindner. It wasn't the vaccine. Over 1 billion people got vaccinated. They're not all dropping dead from an aneurysm in their sleep, but that's what the juice heads love to do. Blame anything except the drugs. Because accepting the truth means admitting they're poisoning themselves for likes, views, and validation. All you bodybuilders don't like the truth when it doesn't suit you. These guys push their bodies to the edge for attention, and the internet forgot them within weeks. That's not strength. That's addiction with good lighting. Meanwhile, I'm 38, still training, still healthy, still natural. And I plan to still be lifting heavy when I'm 60, not dead before I'm 40. The truth is, testosterone isn't the magic you think it is. I've seen guys double their levels on TRT and still look like shit because they can't train or eat properly. And I've seen guys with average testosterone outlift everyone in the gym. You don't need 1,200 nanograms per deciliter to build muscle. You need discipline, hard training, and patience. That's what no one wants to hear because it doesn't push HRT clinics, pills, or coaching programs. This video is brought to you by Transparent Labs and Barbell Apparel. So if you want the highest quality supplements, use code Tanner and save, and make sure to check out my No Excuses graphic tee from Barbell Apparel. So what is the right dose of TRT or Enclomiphene? I like what Greg Doucette said. If you're gonna do it, then always take the lowest dose that makes you happy.
The lowest dose that makes you happy is the dose that makes you happy. It's a Gregism. That's the dose. Decide after getting blood work, what dose can you take to make you happy, and choose the lowest.
And for me, that dose is 0. I'm happy, I feel strong, I'm healthy. I take pride in being natural. I feel like I'm a dying breed. I'm legit probably one of the last fitness YouTubers who's truly lifetime natural. Not pretending, not cycling off, not lying to my audience. Because this channel isn't just about looking jacked. It's not about standing on stage in a Speedo where your entire self-worth is measured subjectively by bodybuilding judges who are really just strangers you've never met. It's about being mentally and physically strong. It's about eliminating excuses. And most importantly, it's about being fucking healthy. And if you're natural, why the fuck are you taking advice from all these dudes on roids? When you're on gear, it doesn't matter how you eat or train because you're gonna get strong and jacked just looking at weights and eating like shit. But remember, it comes at a cost. So if you're willing to take that risk, just make damn sure you're aware of the repercussions. And if you're tired of chasing fake shortcuts and wanna actually get strong and jacked the right way, apply for one-to-one custom coaching. I'll put that link here next to my head. We'll jump on a free call and discuss if working together makes sense. You have nothing to lose and potentially everything to gain. And if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe, and watch whichever video of mine YouTube recommends next for you here.